Good afternoon. Thank you for joining me today. This is Karen from Vintage Elegance Inspiration. This is the third video of a journal in my summer collection. And this one I have named Wild Rose, I believe. Beautiful, beautiful sari silk ribbon closure. And I've got a little wrap skirt that I made out of some vintage laces and applique pieces. A stack of the journaling cards, booklet, and ephemera. Some beautiful vintage buttons on here, and the sweet little girl in this one has her bonnet on. How sweet is that? And the lace tag that I have made, see if I can get this off here without wasting a bunch of time. Just a little booklet with some beautiful papers inside. And the lace swatch card features some of Nikki's appliques that she custom dyes, and the blush colored Alcyon lace, some graphic 45 paper, and journaling space on the back. Each journal is topped with that little set of papers. So let's open it up and go inside. She has 21 pages. These are standard 8.5 by 5.5 inch journals. So, made out of the same burnout velvet in the blush color from a scarf that I purchased at a vintage market. How gorgeous is that? And then I also found this trim, and I got it in a little, they're called, not a snippet bag, but it's like a cutter bag or something like that, where they give you a bunch of samples. Some of them are stained, some of them are cut wonky, but they are great for using for our projects for journal making. I've added an eclectic assortment of transparent vintage buttons. I just absolutely love them. Just so fun to use. And the skirt, the wrap skirt has this beautiful vintage lace as the belt. And then I attach the sari silk ribbons, so it's anchored on there permanently. But the wrap skirt is removable. And then it's got this beautiful blush colored, I believe it's lingerie lace from a slip, some other vintage lace that's gathered, and then this beautiful applique. This one is in white. The other one for the other journal is in cream. And got the beautiful sequins and beads on there. How pretty is that? All right, so we'll go inside and have a look at everything she has. In this lace pocket on the side here, yes, this one is Wild Rose. In the lace pocket, I've got several tags, starting with this tall skinny tag backed onto parchment paper. I've got the vintage book page, vintage wallpaper, vintage sheet music paper, some stamping and a die cut, and then a beautiful chiffon ribbon as the tag topper. I've got one of the tags that I made for this series with a beautiful Wild Rose on it. Again, peach and pink and red, I believe, all go together. I just love the combination. And then a tag that I've made with the antique florals from ChapterOnePapers, and done the gilding polish on it, backed it onto parchment paper. So there's Wild Rose, and then the journaling card that I've chosen to add the description of why I chose this name is Wild Rose in Native American means symbol of life. Wild roses could not survive without their scent, their fragrance. Wild Rose features dainty, lightly scented shell pink flowers. How sweet is that? So that is included in the front of the journal. Got this beautiful blush colored dyed vintage lace by Suzi Oberman from MaryNotMartha. I just absolutely love her lace bundles. They are stunning. A tag made from one of the Ephemera kits from Rosie collection. Some stenciling done with the texture paste, vintage lace tag topper, and a vintage button, and the metallic embroidery floss tied in a bow. Got some lined journal paper on this side. It's got some faint lace image at the top. On this side, I've got a pocket with a bit of collaging here, one of the vintage girls, the young ladies, and then this vintage ephemera. This is an envelope from 1940, some beautiful stamping, and one of the Niagara Falls cards that I have. So this is the right way. Well, there you go. And that one is dated 1949. Some pink lined paper. This is, ooh, you know what? That's an older one too. I didn't include this in my list, but I believe that is, oh, I'm gonna have to be sure which one it is. Letters from Verona. I think I did it for Valentine's Day one year. Anyhow, very pretty. I thought it tied in with this collection. Another envelope that I've used, I cut a vintage handkerchief in 4 pieces and then used it as the flap cover with the scalloped edge and the beautiful embroidery of the hanky. And then I just sewed it all around the top of the cardstock, added a beautiful applique, and then just tucked some note paper in a coordinating paper inside. And that gets tucked into this belly band. I've used some pink parchment paper that I've embossed and this beautiful dangly lace. Some Bible page, some Shakespeare, another washi sticker, some more of this beautiful rose paper. I have added a oval cut, die cut. That is this little Sizzix 3D embosser. Oh, I love it. It's just so beautiful. And I chose to just frame their faces on that page, but you can certainly tuck anything that you would like yourself behind it. There's room to do that. Beautiful lace, vintage lace belly band with this tag made out of texture paste, gold embossed ink, the vintage lace and vintage mother of pearl button, some extra lined journaling paper, beautiful image from the Bella kit from ThePaperCameo, one of these journaling cards that I love to make with some crinkled seam binding and vintage buttons, sweet little girl image, and this beautiful vintage to antique lace trim on the side. Another one of these gorgeous washi stickers, some Emily Dickinson poetry, some French English dictionary page, line journal paper, a flap with some music paper, and a book page about the Rhine River, Stamperia paper with a little tuck spot there. You can add any ephemera that you would like. And then one of these beautiful embroidered embellished trims by Sheila from BohoDaydreams. There you can see the pink and the red together and the coral. How beautiful is that with the gold? Got a tag swatch topper, and I have avocado dyed some white lace and then used artisan paper. And you can certainly journal on the back of that if you'd like. And then I've got a beautiful applique on this side from Blush Vintage Lace by Suzi. Very long applique. Isn't it just so beautiful? I just tucked in this small unembellished tag and a piece of vintage invoice that can be journaled on as well. Some French, no, that's not French. What is this one? Les Miserables, just book page. vintage book page, and then some vintage sheet music with a beautiful washi sticker of a rose, some of the ThePaperCameo paper with beautiful vintage lace and sort of a beigey blush color, some stamping, some more of this, for lack of knowing what it is, I call it banana paper. It's just such a beautiful texture that I got from Brenda. And this is a page out of the England's Garden flower book, watercolor images, just so very beautiful. At the center of the signature, I have added these beads and charms for a super long dangle in blush color and tied it a decorative little tiny bow out of crinkled seam binding. One of the tall tags that I like to make with a deep edge punch, fussy cut flower, and a little tiny note folded over there. Some vintage lace and some stamping. The sheet music. Beautiful, beautiful blush colored rose. That's a fussy cut flower from one of the kits. The Les Mis paper again, and a lace pocket on this side of the page. Journaling card made from Edith Holden book page, very distressed on the edges and backed onto parchment paper. And then this beautiful vintage lace that I have, very pale blush pink and green, and it's also a tuck spot if you'd like to add something to the page. One of the tags that I've created using vintage lace and vintage button texture paste done with stenciling. Lots of writing space. Sweet little journaling card on this side of a girl with her dolly. Just backed it onto Tim Holtz paper. I just felt it coordinated so nicely, and a beautiful washi sticker image of a rose. Lovely vintage lace again, and a vintage doily that I've made into a corner tuck spot. Edith Holden book page that I've made into a tag, very distressed, the month of March. And then this is from a French book of poems that I have included. Sweet little charm, or pardon me, dangle with the vintage beads from some earrings that I've deconstructed. And this is a fussy cut roses. Some more beautiful lace on the page edge. These are all tuck spots too. And then I've got a pocket on this side of the page, just done some collaging, a tag and a journaling card. Beautiful Swiss dot netting that I love to use because it's so flouncy and sheer. And then the lined paper that folds out for extra journaling. Some more of Sheila's beautiful embellished trim, embroidered embellished trim, and that's using a die cut border edge. Another tag and a journaling card for extra writing. These do make beautiful personal journals, and of course you can always gift it to someone else. I'm sure they would love to look through it and just enjoy all the pieces of ephemera. Another index card that I've tea dyed and used some French vintage book page, beautiful image, some cheesecloth, antique trim, seam binding, crinkled seam binding, and beautiful vintage buttons. And the last page in the journal has some gorgeous vintage lace that's been dyed in the blush color. And then this is another one of the ideas I got from Marlene from Uniquely Ella, who creates these tucks from the bottom, tuck spots from the top, beautiful little girl images, and a tag in this part. And you can also, I've left this open so you can put a very tall tag in the back here, or a piece of journaling paper as you wish. And the inside of these journals, I forgot to mention, I used my vintage wallpaper that I absolutely love. It was gifted to me by my sweet friend Sharon, and it was perfect again for this collection. So she was very generous to gift it to me, and I love the way it adheres to the craft text. It's just amazing. It's just so great to use. So thank you, Sharon, very much again. And that is Wild Rose. So she is done. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me chatter and share my excitement of this journal collection that I've made over the summer. And I hope you'll stay tuned for the next video. So again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.